I feel good today. What is good, universe? Welcome into Driving the Line. We are live every single weekday right here on Stadium. Wherever you find Stadium, you will find us. Amazon Prime, Roku TV, YouTube TV, and in just about 3 weeks, we'll have a brand new platform as well. I am your host, the coach. For the next 60 minutes, we get set for the day, the week, whatever it is in the world of sports and sports betting. It's not just about picks, and picks. Coming off Monday Night Football last night, and not a bad day for the crew. Now, as we take a look at it, Josh Allen, he had 19 completions. We missed that by a half, but a lot of check marks, a lot of good days by several people. However, we will handle business with one name on there very, very shortly. Now, we have a ton of content here at the brand every single day. The easiest way to do it is just subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow all of us on social media, and every time you turn on your notifications, you get a little ding. They go, oh, the DTL guys are doing something new, like our brand new DTL, the podcast. It is fresh. It's not just the audio from the morning show. No, we do a fresh 20 or 30 minutes every single weekday with our partners at Pantheon, and it drops audio around 2 p.m. Eastern, and then the video for you premium members. Now, every single day, we remember our good friend Howie Schwab by giving you guys a selection, so we're going to play something together. Here are the choices today. It's all about Game 2 in the American League Championship Series. Guardians on the money line. They lost last night 5-2. We'll get to that in about 18 minutes or so. Yankees on the money line. Will they go up 2-0? Guardians-Yankees over 7, or are we playing the under 7? Yesterday, it's right on that 7 number. It's amazing how much they get it right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a Tuesday. On Tuesdays, it can be easy to kind of exhale and say, you know what, I got 2 days until week 7 of the NFL season starts. That's not what we do. We grind every single day with the best crew in the business. So if you don't mind, it is time for the picks. I don't care who you're talking about. I got the best crew in the business, and look what I got today. By the way, on your way in, if you're watching on our YouTube page, if you're an OG, if you're a degenerate, with all the love in the world, hit that like button for us on the way in. It really helps the show grow. Now, gentlemen, good morning to all of you. Who gets the 15 seconds today? You know what? I'm going to go with the guy that has been supplying us the stat of the day recently. It's kind of a new thing we do at the end of the show every single day. So, Raphael, today, just because I'm feeling nice and generous, you get our 15 seconds. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, crew. That's a little shocker since I had the Jets last night with Aaron Rodgers. I do not want to kick field goals in New York right now because everyone's missing field goals in New York. So that was kind of brutal to watch, but hopefully everyone has a great Tuesday. It's a nice Tuesday. We have 3 college football games on the betting board today.
Ooh, 3 big ones all throughout the day. Yeah, Giants couldn't make a field goal on Sunday night in that same stadium, and last night the Jets couldn't make it either. We'll get to that in a second. Now, the man over there, he's from the dirty, Big Chuck. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Coach, crew. Yeah. Interesting game last night. Then some nice baseball. So then we have some Nations League today. So excited to get it started and see what this week brings to us.
Okay, maybe we'll do that. We'll just get it kind of mosey our way into the day. Now, luckily, I didn't have time to pull up the video. However, last night, the man with the best beard in the game, I gave him an ultimatum. And he goes, hey, Coach, hey, if you think you need it, I think you need it. And so I decided to flex my muscles just a little bit. And I said, you know what? I don't even need the entire game to bang on Soupy with Garrett Wilson. He covered both in the first half. Soupy, how are you feeling this morning, sir?
Not a great way to end the week, but we started the week pretty well. Once again, we've hit all 3 prize pick props. We're 6-0. We're going to try to do it again later this week when I give them to you on Friday.
Do not deflect from the moment at hand. That was kind of nice, though. Yeah, by the way, we do prize picks here every single Friday. The last 2 weeks, absolutely banging them so well. So I love that. I'm just kidding you, Soupy. Hey, it happens. I lost 2 yesterday. I was 3-2. So it's not like, of course, Big Cheesy's already called me out. Of course, we're going to use social media to our advantage. That's what we do. But quickly, before we get to the picks for today, it was an interesting day last night. Soupy, I'll come right back to you because Aaron Rodgers had almost 200 yards passing, including the Hail Mary that cashed at the end of the first half, 20-17. The final score was 23-20. What happened in the second half other than a bunch of penalties?
Missed kicks. The Jets needed to get closer. The wind played a huge factor. And actually, Greg Zerline, he's missed a lot of kicks this year. A lot of penalties, just sloppy football. Right now, I'm not confident in either one of these teams, but unfortunately, one of them has to win the division.
Well, there's no doubt about it. And last night, I thought that in the first half, Josh Allen looked great. And I even tweeted, I said, do the Jets know that they're actually supposed to tackle Josh Allen when they rush him into the backfield? And he kept getting out, a couple of touchdowns. I mean, it's Jets defense didn't know what to do. But then second half, nobody could do anything. Absolutely nobody. Raphael, which team, because Jets very easily could have won the game and probably should have, which team do you think is actually better after week 6?
I'm going to say Buffalo just because they got the W yesterday. And I know everyone's going to pinpoint on Aaron Rodgers with the loss yesterday, but missed so many penalties. It's not his fault that his offensive line's always offsides or they're holding. So I feel bad. I shouldn't say I feel bad for Aaron Rodgers. I don't feel bad. He makes a lot of money, but don't put it all on him. It's the team that's been putting down the losses for the Jets. But I think Buffalo is in a good spot right now with that big win.
Yeah, I kind of feel like 4-2, and now they've got a nice little lead, Charles. And as they head forward, Josh Allen, though, they've certainly changed how they've approached with Stephon Diggs no longer in Buffalo. You got James Cook. He got ruled out right before the game last night. And so I think the Buffalo is going through kind of a personality change. And when you could be in first place at 4-2 and you're embracing that personality change, because last night, I mean, you had Dalton Kincaid, 6 for 51. You had Ray Davis on the ground, 20 for 97. They just kept hammering. It's why I played the completions on the under and nearly cashed, because they're not throwing it as much as they used to.
No, they've converted into, a running team. I didn't expect them to run. Well, I expected a running game, but that two-headed monster just shredded that Jets defense. The tackling was atrocious. So, they basically doing what they have to do to win, what you have to commend them. They take a stranglehold on the first place. I find it hard for anyone to catch up to them. If they just keep the course, then, Cook will come back healthy. So, I like what they're doing. They're trying to keep Allen out of harm's way, even though he tries to put himself in harm's way at times, but hey, whatever works.
You can't change how a quarterback is ultimately going to play. You just can't do it, because if you do, they look uncomfortable. And then I think Mark said it in the chat, the Jets won't change until they change the starting quarterback. Well, that's not going to be this year. That is for sure. All right, guys, we do best bets and props in the morning show, all right here in what we call in the business the A's. So, Big Chuck, I'm coming over today where there's 3 college football games, 1 Major League Baseball game, and we look forward to the NFL. Where are you starting today, sir?
The Nations League, it wraps up another round today with Poland, who have scored in all 6 home matches this year, and they averaged 2.2 team goals, while Croatia, they've scored in 3 of their last 4 away games in 2024, with the Croatians averaging 1.4 team goals. I'll certainly back the both teams to score in this matchup. Next, we travel to Scotland, where the Tartan Army play host, with their home matches average 2.6 total goals this year. And Portugal, they arrive averaging 2 team goals on the road and what should be a shootout. Give me the over 2.75 full-time goals. Lastly, I'll add Cristiano Ronaldo, anytime goal scorer, who scored in 2 straight, giving him 133 internationally on his goal tally.
All right. I apologize. Those are 3 great picks, but we may have some breaking news here on the show that we'll get to in a second, but we got to get the picks out. Raphael, sorry, I'm a little shaken here. I like it in real time. Just focus on the picks for right now, and we'll get to the breaking news in a second. Also, thank you to the chat. Raphael, go.
Me too. My phone's been blowing up, so I'm a little bit shut in. It's the same way. Give me La Tech team total over 31.5. I'll lay to 3 nickels. They scored 48 points against the Blue Raiders in their last game. Their defense of New Mexico State has allowed 43 points per game in their last 5 games. So I'll take La Tech over 31.5. And then the most heated rivalry in all sports. No, it's not the Cubs and Cardinals, not the Yankees and Red Sox. Give me a break. It's USA versus Mexico in soccer tonight in Mexico. I'm going to take the draw at plus 230. There's no Pulisic, no McKinney, no Pepe, no party for USA. This was going to be a 1-1 draw or a 0-0 draw. I see a low-scoring game, so give me the draw against USA and New Mexico in international friendly soccer. And then in baseball, give me the props. No runs, hits, and errors under in tonight's Yankees game. 3.5. It left game one, went under the total. Last time we saw Cole on the mound, it went under the total. So I think we see runs, hits, and errors very scarcely today.
Yeah, we'll get into that baseball in just a little bit. What either the internet is behind or it's not official yet, because I'm looking everywhere on my phone. I don't see one confirmed trade yet for our breaking news. So we're not even going to say it yet. I don't even see it. So maybe everybody's behind, but certainly I'm in real time here. All right, Super, you got 4 big plays. Let's go.
Golden Knights 3-0, averaging 5 points, going against the Capitals, who gave up 5 goals in their first game. This is sort of a rebuilding team. So I got the Golden Knights on the money line. And then Juan Soto hit a home run last night, first home run as a Yankee in the playoffs. He stays hot tonight. I got him over 1.5 hits. Staying with the Yankees. I don't like the money line. It's too juicy. And I think this is going to be a closer game, so I'm not taking the run line. So I'm taking the Yankees to not bat in the bottom of the ninth. They are going to lock it down easily in 9 innings. Give me that at minus 120. And it's the season where Nikki Kucherov gets a multiple point total and a kind of juicy play. Last year led the league in 144 goals. He's going against the Canucks, who don't have a definitive starter. So I think he's going to get over 2.5 points.
Man, I like all the different ways you can bet baseball right now. Not to bat in the 9th inning. Basically, you're betting on the game not to go to extra innings and for the Yankees to win. All right, this is the reason why it doesn't say traded, because it's not done yet. So Adam Schefter on Twitter says this: compensation update. The trade for Davante Adams is expected to get finalized today per sources. It will be a conditional 3rd-round pick that can go to all right, that's it. All right, so that's the breaking news. We've got about 2 minutes, and then we'll talk about it on the other side. But I don't know why, if they're going to do it, why didn't you do it last week? Why didn't you get him before you played the Buffalo Bills, Raphael?
Yeah, and if they're probably going to give up a 3rd round, and it doesn't make sense for doing it now. I mean, you lost last night. You could have used them last night, but this makes no sense whatsoever, and that's what happens when you play in New York teams in football.
And Big Chuck, we got some people in the chat that are saying, well, hey, he's too old. He's not good enough. Last year, he was amazing. Sometimes when you play with bad quarterbacks, you start to look old. These 2 guys had magic in Green Bay. So if you're trying to save a season at 2-4 and there's one dude that you can get, this would be that dude.
Yeah, it's funny what happens when you put on a new uniform, so I think he'll be just fine. Plus, they saw the Mike Williams experience keeps backfiring on him, so he can be the number 4 now. So, I think that, new uniform, I think it'll rejuvenate his career.
Yeah, I also thank you, Austin. Bleacher Report also has this being confirmed today. I got about 20 seconds. You know what? I'm going to hold it, and I'll let you have it on the other side there, Big Soupy, all right? So our breaking news this morning here on DTL, Adam Schefter and the Bleacher Report are saying that it should be finalized today, but Davante Adams will be leaving the Las Vegas Raiders and will be heading to the New York Jets to reunite with Aaron Rodgers after 3 years apart. Remember, they had some amazing years in Green Bay for the Packers, and we'll see if this can help turn them around because they're throwing the ball a lot. Last night, nearly 300 yards passing for Aaron Rodgers. So you're going to have Garrett Wilson on one side, and you're going to have Davante Adams on the other. That's something that we're absolutely going to talk about on the other side. I love mornings when you get breaking news here live on the show. That's why we do this at 10 a.m. Eastern time. We're just getting started. It's DTL in the morning, live on Stadium. All right, for all of you degenerates out there watching on our YouTube page, thank you so very much. Last night, a lot of complaining after the game, Raphael. One, Aaron Rodgers, and he made, I know you're not going to understand this reference, but he made a South Park reference. And he said, maybe we should play Sarcastaball. I had no idea what the hell he was talking about. But clearly 11 penalties. He even said that some on him roughing the passer shouldn't have been roughing the passer. So he was talking about all of the refs. What did you make of that last night?
Yeah, I was a little shocked that he was talking about all the plays, including that passing interference. But it was just bad. The offensive lineman just keeps on failing them. They have a great run game, and boom, holding or offsides, and they have to bring it back. And then they're out of the running situation. Then they have to pass, which the defense knows they're going to have to pass. So I just think it's just bad penalties at certain times is killing the New York Jets. So again, I don't understand why they've blown away that they just made this trade right now. So I'm a little bit confused on what the Jets are doing right now.
Charles, let me come over to you because Aaron Rodgers always has that, very low key, especially on a night when they should have won. And let's be honest, they should have won last night. And you're complaining about the referees and all these types of things when he never takes that ownership. Never. And I don't know why he can't do that.
They need to trade for a kicker. That's who he should be going after. I mean, and then we see Zerline over there giggling on the sidelines after he missed the second one. I want to see him angry, slamming stuff because he did this in the Broncos game also. So, I mean, he's literally lost them 2 games. I mean, after they got the holding call, brought it back, then that should have been a chip shot. So, yeah, well, that's just Aaron Rodgers, though. He likes to deflect. He has that superior attitude also. So I don't take anything that he does with a grain of salt. So yeah, I'd move on with him, but I'm more focused on their kicking situation in New York.
Charles, we only got 2 minutes at commercial break, big boy. You literally just took
That's my mulligan. That's my mulligan.
Is that your mulligan for the day? All right. Soupy, you get to start on the other side, all right? You get to start on the other side. All good for all of you OGs out there. So, as you know, by the way, we're talking 3 games in about 20 minutes. We're going to take your questions in the chat today. If you have anything on Texas Packers, Lions, Vikings, Chiefs, 49ers, when we get to the bottom of the hour, put them in the chat. We'll answer them in real time. We're back on Stadium in just 2 seconds. All right, welcome back to DTL in the Morning, live on Stadium, Amazon Prime, YouTube TV, Roku TV, the Stadium app, watchstadium.com. And just moments ago, right here live on the show, we had breaking news that the New York Jets have made a trade or are finalizing a trade with the Las Vegas Raiders to send future Hall of Fame wide receiver Davante Adams to reunite with the quarterback that made him that Hall of Famer, Aaron Rodgers in New York. Soupy, let me come over to you because you haven't even got to give your take yet because this just happened a few minutes ago. And now, no matter if we're confused, no matter if we go, why are they doing it? At least they're doing something. They fired their head coach last week. Last night, at times they looked okay. We're throwing the ball. Almost 200 yards passing in the first half. Garrett Wilson. But then they end up losing. So there wasn't that good feeling from the Jets this morning. And now this, which tells me, do you think they got up this morning at 6 a.m. and started calling the Raiders? No. So this had to be in the works before today. And I think that's my biggest question. Why wasn't it done Thursday or Friday so he could have played last night against the Bills and certainly make a difference?
I wish he played. Maybe I would have hit my Garrett Wilson under problem. But this needed to happen last week. Get Adams as much reps in. I know he's got the familiarity with Rodgers that would have helped in this game. The problem is still the offensive line. We're going to call that a spade because they're young, they're inexperienced, and they caused a lot of penalties last night. Let's hope that the weapon with adding Adams on the other side of Wilson can hopefully make up, and the defense needed to play better. Defense, one of the best in the league. They were awful last night.
Yeah, they certainly were. And Raphael, no matter if maybe Davante Adams has lost a step, let's say he has lost a step. What it's going to help is the other side with Garrett Wilson, who has certainly not lost a step. That dude is a bad boy. And sometimes you just need to have a little bit of the defense away from him. This could really open things up.
This could, and every time I saw Garrett Wilson, I saw Soupy's face in that helmet because it's the game he kind of had yesterday. But I'm going to color outside the box. I'm looking at the Raiders spot. Maybe the Raiders probably called the Jets and say, hey, you know what? They just lost the game. We can probably boost up what they're going to want to give up for this. So I think maybe the Raiders are in a very good situation right now. They're probably going to get a better draft pick now. They just got 10% for Tom Brady to be ownership, and now they'll be looking for a head coach to maybe bring a Belichick or a big name. I'm thinking outside box. This could be a very nice move for the Raiders now.
Oh, now think about this. Cole in the chat has a very interesting question, guys. He said this: since the Raiders seem to be in the mood to deal, is there any chance the Lions make an inquiry about bringing Max Crosby home to Detroit? The Lions have a ton of cap room, and with the loss of Hutchinson, he would fit a major need. Cole, very smart. Big Chuck, your thoughts?
Yeah, I love it. I've been hearing those rumors, but I thought you were going to break. I see that Hassan Reddick has also got approval to get traded, so I thought that's what you were breaking. So he could also be on the move. That could be a Lions destination. So yeah, I would love to see Mad Max in a Lions uniform. I'm sure he would love that. And then when Hutchinson comes back, you have them on each side of the line. So yeah, I would love for him to mosey on back to the Midwest.
Yeah, James says Crosby would be really expensive, but if they can figure it out. Raphael, this is their time. They've never had another time in their entire existence of being a franchise that they're more suited to win a Super Bowl. If they can do it, don't they have to do it?
Yes, but this is the Raiders' heart and soul right now. So they're probably declining a lot of phone calls because they probably want the moon to fill into the Death Star in Vegas to try to fill that. So I can understand. I'm sure Detroit probably called them. They probably called Cleveland as well. But I think Max is just going to be asking for the moon. I don't see him going.
Yeah. Well, as we look at it right now, the Lions are getting 2.5. We'll discuss their game in a little bit. And the Jets, well, they're at the Steelers. And right now they are favored by 1.5. So certainly, Raphael, that number has moved because of this trade. No? Favorites on the road against the Steelers?
Maybe money. Wide receivers don't move numbers. Quarterbacks are the only team that will move a number. Probably these Joe Public money coming. I can guarantee you nothing big came in on that game.
Okay. I just got this from producer man. Adam Schefter on Twitter says this: the Raiders are not paying any of Devontae Adams' remaining salary per a source. The Jets are assuming the entire balance of it. Very interesting. You all remember that when Russell Wilson got traded from the Denver Broncos, Denver paid like $40 million, and the Steelers are paying $1 million. So those things happen, but now the Jets will take it all on. Probably a reason the Raiders said, hey, if we're going to give him up, we ain't paying squat. So they were certainly in the position of power in this trade because the Jets definitely need it. And I see something in the chat. Yeah, this is the move that they need. When I hear things like that, and I know it's very, very easy for us to be negative, but in the world of sports, in the world of the NFL, you guys got to understand they've got to do something. If they stand pat with Aaron Rodgers, maybe only a year or two left in his career, that would be worse than going out and trying to make a move. So I know the initial thing is to be negative. Let's not be negative. Let's say at least they're trying something, and they're getting a guy that Aaron Rodgers really wants, and he has a history with. That's a huge, huge positive. Now, speaking of positives, baseball playoffs yesterday. The Mets come out and they blow the doors off of the Dodgers at home. All they wanted to do was split, and that's exactly what they got done. So now they have a day off. They're going back to New York. Everything is about New York right now, Raphael. And tonight, game 2, you got the Guardians and the Yankees. I don't know that I've ever seen a easier road to a World Series, and I know I'm a Royals fan, than what the Yankees have right now. It seems very, very easy for them, up 1-0 going into game 2 tonight.
Yeah, I think we called it when we saw Houston go out really, really early that it was probably a moonwalk for the Yankees to get into the World Series. Garrett Cole's on him out. I said last time he pitched that we could see his Cole moment, his Yankee moment. He could have another Yankee moment right now. It's minus 170. It's either first 5 or a run line if you like the Yankees. But I'm going to think something. I'm coloring outside the box all day today, Coach.
Okay.
Cleveland 3-1 to win a series price. You're never going to see 3-1 again on the series price because if they steal this game, they're probably still going to be a small dog in this one. And let's say if they go 2-1 when they go back to Cleveland, they still won't be 3-1 as a favorite to win a series price. If you want to roll the dice and sprinkle something, 3-1 on Cleveland to win a series price seems very, very interesting.
It may be worth just a little sprinkle, Big Chuck, because they were behind in the Detroit series, and they were able to win the final 2 games of that series. It's not like the Yankees have been dominant. It's not like they had a great end of the season, but it's just the feeling that it's kind of easy for a brand that has been dominant all time. And so the Guardians, what do they need to do to get these bats going?
Good question. That's been the main concern for the Guardians all season was been the bats. So the people were worried that would follow them into the playoffs. And well, lo and behold, what has happened? And last night I thought that this would be a closer game. Now it's looking more like a Yankee spot. This total is at 7. I'm wondering if it's going to get to 7.5. But yeah, the bats have been the number one issue. But the suits are doing backflips because if they can get the Yankees with either the Subway Series or the Dodgers, that's a win for them.
Yeah. Shout out to Kevin. He says, we're getting crazy on this Tuesday. I love it. Damn it, Kevin. I love it too. Big Soupy, come on over to you, boo boy. Now, you're my New York guy. You're my Northeastern guy. And I know that Raphael, the last thing he wants is a Subway Series, but it's starting to feel that way a little bit because the Mets could be a team of destiny. The way they beat the Brewers, the way they beat the Phillies, and now splitting in Dodger Stadium. It's kind of getting that feel to maybe meet the Yankees. I mean, you're minus 170 in a championship series. That's a dominant number.
The Yankees bats have been great. The most important thing they're doing, they're getting the walks. Two games in the last series, the ALDS, 7 walks, 8 walks. Last night they had 7 walks. They scored on 2 wild pitches. They're extending innings for all these pitchers, going to the bullpen early. Later in that series, that's going to play an important part. When you have tired arms and how the Yankees bats are, Stanton hit another home run last night. Soto got going. Let's hope maybe Judge can do that. This is going to play into the Yankees' favor, especially if Cole can go 7 innings. You kind of leave it. Maybe Holmes gets an inning. And Luke Weaver, he's pitched 2 5-hit saves, a 4-out save, and a 3-out save. He can go extended innings.
You bring up a good point. We've been cashing with Soto. Nobody plays Stanton because he hasn't hit all year, and all of a sudden against Kansas City, big home run, and then now he's doing it. Raphael, at what point can we play Aaron Judge? Because when it says postseason next to his name, it usually has 0 of everything. He just doesn't play well in the playoffs for some reason.
That's why I'm shocked. People keep on talking about Aaron Judge. Oh, he's off, but his teammates are picking him up. Soto was last night the home run. Everyone else is hitting. Soupy's right. They're walking. They're putting the pressure on the pitching as they're taking their walks. We don't care if Aaron Judge goes over. If they win a World Series, no one's going to remember, wow, Aaron Judge didn't hit a home run. No, Aaron Judge has a World Series ring. That's what we're going to remember.
Did you guys notice, by the way, the Fox pregame show in LA? Did you guys see the 3 guys they have with my boy Matty Vasgersian? By the way, I worked with Matt Vasgersian back in the original XFL in 2001 when I was like 23 years old, and he's just continued to climb. Did anybody see the 3 guys that are with him on the pregame show and postgame show?
Yep.
Why are they not in Yankee Stadium? I mean, you had Derek Jeter, you got A-Rod, and you have
Big Papi.
David Ortiz.
Fox has the rights to the NL, DS, and CS, but they have the rights to the World Series.
Got it. Because they had a lot of – I always forget who has what, because ESPN is ALCS, right?
TNT.
TNT. It makes no sense. They have no baseball all year, and then they get baseball, and no wonder they're confusing all of us. TNT. That shows you right there just how hungry every single network is for anything live event. Give me live events. That's what they want. Even if it's one series, TNT will take it. They just lost the NBA. They have hockey, which I'm still trying to wrap my head around. And now they've got the American League Championship Series. And I don't know that they have any baseball all year round. It's just the way it goes. All right. Breaking news again. If you're just joining us here as we approach the bottom of the hour, first of all, thank you for finding us wherever Stadium is. But also Devontae Adams, a trade being finalized later today. It's expected to be done. He will be shipped to the Jets. I'm assuming that he will be ready to go and will play this Sunday when they travel to the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right. Still to come on the other side. You have any questions in the NFL? Also, we're going to educate and entertain. I like when the rundown's like this. Get it out. We're not following nothing this morning. This is DTL live on a glorious Tuesday, only on Stadium. All right, we crossed the bottom of the hour. For those of you watching on YouTube, we're going to be talking a little bit of Texas Packers, Lions, Vikings, Chiefs, 49ers. Any questions, put them into the chat. We'll try to get to as many as we can. But, Raphael, yesterday. This is supposed to be an educate and entertain. Dan Lanning. Everybody was saying most brilliant move of all time. We're going to get to that coming up in just a second. But what's not a brilliant move? Kawhi Leonard. He's going to be out for the preseason. He's going to be out for the season opener. And he said, and I quote, I want to be healthy for the important moments. So when exactly, Kawhi Leonard, would that be, Raphael?
I don't know, second after the All-Star game? I don't know, because he's always sitting on the bench. I don't know what's the most important moments. He's not playing playoff games because the Clippers haven't done anything in the playoffs. He's just confused. Retire. Your knees are shot. You're nowhere to be even close to where you were when you won championships with the Raptors and Spurs. Just hang them up, lace your shoes up, do like the UFC does. Go to the center of the court, take your gym shoes off, leave them in the center of the court, and walk away.
When they gave him that 3 years, $53 million, Big Chuck, I was like, what are they doing? And literally, it's been the worst $50 million contract in the history of sports.
Yeah, but he's the poster child of living off past performances. So this is just Kawhi. So yeah, he's merely name recognition. He sells tickets for what he could be, but we all know what he's going to do. He's going to sit as many as possibility throughout the season. Maybe play a little in the playoffs, but I just turn my head when it comes to Kawhi. I pretty much drown out any of newsworthy information on Mr. Leonard.
I would love to, Soupy, but I live in L.A. where he plays, where he shouldn't be. Should have stayed in Toronto, like somebody said in the chat.
This was the decision that the Clippers needed to make. They either needed to extend Paul George or Kawhi Leonard. Unfortunately, Leonard was the first one that was able to get that extension, and Paul George wanted the same money as Kawhi, so that's why he left. Kawhi has played. He's missed 16 of the last 20 playoff games. So what important games are you talking about, Kawhi? Because you're certainly not playing in the playoffs.
That's exactly right. By the way, hyperextension for Paul George last night in his preseason game. We're back at stadium in 5 seconds. All right, welcome back. We are past the bottom of the hour on a really exciting, fun Driving the Line on a Tuesday here on Stadium. Back with Raphael, my man Soupy, and Big Chuck. Now, we're going to get to the NFL in a moment. We had to throw the rundown out the window. If you're just joining us past the bottom of the hour, and I'm looking at that live number, a lot of you are coming in. Devontae Adams, a trade set to be finalized today, going from the Raiders to the Jets, according to Adam Schefter. The Jets will pick up the remainder of his salary for the 2024 season, the remainder of the season, and he makes a lot of money. So they're going to absorb all of that. So now you'll have Garrett Wilson on one side, and you will have Devontae Adams on the other. Now, this is the Tuesday. This is where we always look ahead, guys. And I need my 4-shot producer, man. I need to see my guys. So this is where we try to beat the number. And I didn't even give out my plays in the A's because we got the breaking news. But the reason I gave out 3 plays today, and producer man, real quick, can we have that recap screen one more time if you don't mind? I have 3 plays today, and they are these, and there's a reason. And I kid you not, I had them written down, and I wadded them up and threw them away. Sorry, not recap, the picks for today. I love live stuff like this. This is not bad. This is good. I literally, all my notes, I threw them away off screen. So you see, I have 3 plays, not there, but with mine. And if they're not up there, that's fine. But I have I literally don't have mine in front of me. So I'm going to look at a picture. This is in real time. Good job, Jonathan. So I like the Jags -5.5 against the Patriots in London. I like the Lions +2.5 on the road against the Vikings. Falcons -2.5, -118. The reason I do that on a Tuesday, guys, is to look ahead. So the other part of this, Raphael, is you got the Chiefs and the 49ers this week. How much do you think that the Chiefs having a bye week, but the 49ers had the 10 days off? I feel like not only this could be a game of the week, potentially this could be a Super Bowl preview. Raphael, do you agree with me?
Maybe one team Super Bowl preview. It's just because Kansas City, the way their storyline is going in the script, they're probably going to be there. San Francisco, if they could stay healthy, I know they're getting healthy, and that's why I think this game is huge, because 10 games layoff for the 49ers means more people can probably play, and then the Chiefs coming off a bye week, they'll be well rested. This has game of the year potential written on it. Super Bowl preview, I'm only going to get half of it, because I think Kansas City, again, the way they've been playing, they're probably going to be there, and coach is going to be happy all the way through February.
They certainly have not won Soupy, in a really smooth way. You know, you look at some teams and they're just rolling. They score 35, 40 sometimes. That's not who the Chiefs are. But I feel like now they've had enough time and teams have not taken advantage of it to figure out how to play with 3 tight ends, to figure out how to play without all of the wide receivers. And now Xavier Worthy, with every game that passes, he's now getting some experience. And for the 49ers, it's been about injuries. If they get everybody back, I think clearly they and the Lions are the 2 best teams in the NFC.
What I'm looking at with the Chiefs, this is what kind of happened last year. How bad was the receivers? How many times did we say Patrick Holmes, with those receivers, he's not winning anything? What did he win last year? Oh, he won the Super Bowl. This is what good teams do. They face adversity and they overcome it. That is why they've won back-to-back years. And I'm looking at the NFC. I think the Lions, 49ers, Packers, Vikings, there's a lot of teams. Even the Commanders have a possible team. There's a lot of teams in that NFC. I think it's going to be a tougher road to the Super Bowl for the NFC. So I think it could be anybody in that one. But I think clearly Chiefs are the best team in the AFC.
There's no question that the NFC is going to have a much tougher road. We talked about it on the podcast yesterday, and we're looking at all the records, and there's a 5, there's several 4s, there's a lot of 3s. You don't have that in the AFC. And he mentioned the Lions, Big Chuck. And this week, the reason I played them today at plus 2.5, there's no way in my mind this number goes anywhere but the other direction. If you watch the Lions play the last couple of weeks, they are getting better and better. You watch the locker room after the game, and Dan Campbell, they are all, what did he say? You guys, we've never been more together than we are right now. I don't give a damn if the Vikings are 5-0. I think the Lions are the best team, certainly in the NFC right now.
Yeah, in the NFC, yeah, I can't argue with that, but I kind of like the Vikings in this spot, getting that week off, that bye week, and I think we actually see a shootout in this one. I think this is going to be a up and down the field type of game, but I kind of like the Vikings. Not to go against you, Coach, but I kind of like the Vikings in this spot. The Lions coming off of that injury with Hutchinson, a big victory in Dallas, so this could be a potential letdown spot for them. But as far as them being the best team, I have no argument with you overall in the NFC.
Tony says Detroit, no joke. The reason I say that, yes, Raphael, I'm coming right to you anyway. What do you got?
This number opened up at 1.5, and quickly Minnesota money came in. So I don't think we'll see 3. I think it's going to be around 2.5, 2, because I can guarantee you money line bets will be coming in on Minnesota. Why lay the 2, -2, or 2.5? Just take the money line no higher than -165, and then take the plus points if you're looking for the Lions. But that defensive injury for the Lions has to come back somewhere to bite them in this game.
Yeah, Austin says the Fighting Dan Campbells are on fire. I think sometimes, Soupy, we get caught up when you're in the sports betting world at trying to go week by week and saying, okay, but they played well 3 times. They lose a guy, and now they've got it. I think sometimes we need to lean in to teams that are just playing really great football. And if you look at the last couple of weeks, the Lions, I mean, Jared Goff was perfect 2 weeks ago. Perfect. 18 for 18. All those touchdown passes. He caught a touchdown pass. He gets a game ball yesterday because he was awesome, or on Sunday rather, and they scored 47 points in Dallas. Sometimes I feel like we just need to get out of the way and say this team is just really, really good, and it doesn't matter who's in front of them right now.
The offense is just playing perfectly. You saw David Montgomery, and he could just run the ball, get into that secondary. Jared Goff, everybody's just open for him. Even Sam Laporta finally had a big game. I am, though, nervous about Aiden Hutchinson being out for the rest of the year. He could possibly be out next year. I said this to us when that injury happened. I said Aiden Hutchinson is more important to the defense than Jared Goff is to the offense, because teams are looking where Hutchinson is lined up in every single play, and they are going to double team him. That has helped other members of that defensive line pressure the pocket. Now that they don't have that, what does that mean for the rest of the defense? So I'm a little nervous about that.
That's very interesting, but I think that's a really, really strong take. Shout out to Ace. He said, I was just doing a Google search, and 2 of the top 5 lines were about coach in DTL. You're damn right. Hashtag next level. Now, when we stick with the NFC North, we've talked about the Lions. They're playing the Vikings, the Chicago Bears. They're playing great. They're on a bye week. But let's not sleep, Big Chuck, on what the Packers have right in front of them this Sunday. They played great last week. They beat the Cardinals by 21. And when I look at the updated line at ESPN Bet, they're favored by 2.5 over a Texas team that is 5-1 and arguably a top 2 team in the AFC. So the Packers and Jordan Love, this is a big-time test. Do you like that 2.5 number? Do you think it could go to 3?
Yeah, I thought it was at 3 at one point. I'm seeing 2.5s also. Yeah, I kind of like the Packers in this spot at home. And I think this may be more of a defensive battle. People may think we may see a shootout. So I think this may lean towards the under. But yeah, at this point, as if you had to hold me to who I would take today, I would be on the Packers. But we'll see how it shifts more towards the end of the week. But yeah, I think in Packers and an under. And you could probably look at the money line in this one since it's at that 2.5 and under.
Raphael, let me come over to you because you always teach us and you always show us. And most of the time I am wrong because you look at it from the book's perspective. You look at it from the public's perspective. And if I'm looking at the Packers and the way they've been playing, that 2.5, I don't think it goes up because of how good the Texans are. Am I wrong?
Ooh, I hate to tell you, wrong, Coach, but you are wrong, Coach, because it's 3 in Vegas right now. 3 and the Packers are even money. That the books are telling us right now. They got their booties whipped last week, and some books are telling me they had the worst Sunday in the history since they've been open. The lights are still open now, the doors, you can still bet, but they had a bad week. So you're going to be very cautious with the bets. So if you make the Packers 3 even money right now, that's telling me that they're getting Houston money still with the minus 120, and they're trying to grab all the Green Bay money right now because they're figuring Houston money will come in probably Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So they're just trying to grab all the Green Bay money now, expecting Houston money all weekend.
So if they all had a horrible week, and I always love that. Oh, okay, give the light. Stop. We always know it always reverses. But what is it like in a production meeting or when you have a really bad week? Because we like to think they're just there to take the bets. They're not. It's them against us. And when it's them losing, what's that temperature like in the room?
It is not good. Week 2 probably had the top 5 best Sundays that they had. Probably had no phone calls by the bosses. I can guarantee you Monday morning, the bosses were calling and say, what the heck? Hey, how are we doing on the Monday night game? And they're probably saying, oh, we don't need Buffalo to win. And so now the bosses know when they're watching Monday Night Football what the outcome is. So now they're getting yelled at again. So Monday, Tuesday, not a good time to be a director in a sports book.
Well, I hate to admit it, but guys, we were part of the problem. We had a fantastic week here at DTL on our plays on Sunday. Chuck, me, you, AB, we crushed it, did we not?
We didn't do half bad there, Coach. I'm looking forward to this Sunday also. So yeah, we just keep on building that momentum. Yeah, love the NFL, certainly do.
Love the NFL. Big Soupy, from a fantasy perspective, I haven't even asked you about this, as we have about a minute left in this section. Devontae Adams is going to change everything. He's going to change everything. 2 questions. Does it affect anything? Do you still play him as normal, regardless of the team that he's on? And how much do you think his numbers potentially could be affected?
I got asked this in the chat, and I kind of gave a brief statement. You have to play him just because he is Devontae Adams, and the chemistry he has between him and Rodgers is going to play a factor. But how much of it is now? Will Garrett Wilson be a decoy? Will Adams be a decoy? Are they going to get even target shares? That's the big question. I don't know if Adams gets introduced into the offense quite as quickly this week, but we'll see going down the road. I would still play him, though, no matter what.
Okay. The last 2 weeks, Raphael, you're shaking your head. You got 20 seconds.
Fantasy, he's got a hamstring injury. It's not like he's 100%. He probably played just to shake hands and wave to the fans, but no. I'll leave him off my roster. He's off my roster, and I'm perfect right now in fantasy.
What, 0 for 0?
Yeah, no losses.
Hey, we got to give a shout out to Soupy. He got his first win in the DTL Fantasy League this year. Way to go, Soupy. Way to go. Solid, baby. Solid. Just fantastic. All right. What a really good morning. Breaking news. I kind of feel like I'm doing Sports Center all over again. It would go crazy when stuff like this would happen. People running in and handing you pieces of paper. I absolutely freaking loved it. All right, still to come. We've got the whip around. We have so much more. It's DTL with breaking news live on Stadium. All right, we continue on here on our YouTube channel. And in Utah, gentlemen, this is a crazy story, Raphael. Cam Rising, he looked like he was playing on one leg. His wrist, he couldn't throw it. I mean, he looked like a 55-year-old man trying to play college football. And they have officially ruled him out, and he will potentially be eligible for an 8th year of college football. Should this even be possible?
No, not absolutely not. And I understand why he wants to, because he's not going to the pros. He's just trying to get as much NIL money as possible. So hey, play it 8 seasons. Call a restaurant in that city to see if you can do some commercials. So he's just doing it for NIL purposes. But wow, I can't believe he's going to play next year. He's been playing more than Gabriel in Oregon, who's been playing forever.
It's crazy when you say the reason he's coming back, because some of these guys, like the guy from UNLV, Charles, he was making $600,000. I'd never even heard of it. So this is almost like the NFL in college, sort of.
Yeah, and I was looking. It looks like he's making he's going to hit $1 million this year. He has a potential to hit 1.5. So why would he leave? He knows he's not going to play in the NFL. He might as well milk it as long as he can. So if you've seen him play, you know he's just milking. And I think he got injured by the water cooler his last injury. So yeah, he's something else. I've yet to see him play a full season. I doubt I ever will.
By the water cooler, Soupy. Are you kidding me right now? This dude, just hang it up. But if you're making $1 million, maybe hobble out there for one more season. Who knows?
Might as well. I'll explain briefly why. He's had a couple redshirt seasons. The COVID season, everybody got an additional year of eligibility. So that's why he gets to play another year. He's making $1 million. Utah isn't a terrible team. They're a potential playoff team when he comes back. So try to win a championship and ride into the sunset with maybe 3 bachelors, a master's, and maybe a PhD. I don't know how many degrees can you get in 8 years.
Joe says Dr. Emeritus Cam Rising will return for an 8th year and be an adjunct professor as well. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. All right, we will discuss this and so much more. Man, the hours go by fast. We're back on Stadium in 5 seconds. We'll get to the whip around in just a second, but we have a couple of topics to hit on first before we do that. Isn't it great to have Producer Man back? Don't have to say everything all the time. Put it in the chat. Say, hey, Producer Man, welcome back. He's a little under the weather today, so he's feeling bad, but, man, he never calls in sick. My man is there every single day. Guys, real quick, a couple of topics. We don't even need to run the Educate and Entertain Open, but I wanted to make sure and get to them today, because as we head into college football, and tomorrow is when we really look ahead at the lines. There's 3 games tonight. Oregon is kind of the new darlings. Excuse me, the new darlings of college football. And I could not believe, Raphael, that Dan Lanning, if everybody watched the inning last week, there was a 12 men on the field penalty when they had it about midfield. Incomplete pass, 5 yards. It took off 6 seconds, and it did not allow for Ohio State to get enough yardage to kick a field goal. He literally admitted to it yesterday. And I don't know that I've ever seen, after I've looked at everything, a smarter head coach. And I'm one of those guys that I always criticize the head coaches, because they may call good plays. They may be a good defensive coach, but in-game management is probably the lowest IQ that it's ever been across the board. How high of an IQ was this play by Dan Lanning?
Yeah, it's across the board in NFL as well, and college football. And this is brilliant. I'm so glad that he came out and said it, because we all knew he did it for a reason. Congratulations for catching the loophole, using the loophole. Because why do we play games? To win games. And he played the loophole to win a game. So hats off. I'm just glad he finally has said that's what he did.
Well, he said that he said we practice this stuff all the time. Can you imagine how much practice time that you've got to put in for something that may never, ever happen? But he said, Charles, that sometimes you've got these very unique situations. The other one was that when you have an offensive pass interference penalty, the clock starts running, even if it's an incomplete pass. Ohio State, on their side, they didn't know that. So give Oregon not only the win, not only the win, but also the win on the sidelines. You got $20 million players for Ohio State, but you got to be better when you're using the old noggin right now. Yes.
Oh yeah, but look who's on their side of the head coaching on their side. But you just think about this, Lanning. You know, his mentor was Mike Norvell, so he said he picked up a lot of the influence that he takes in coaching is Mr. Norvell, who's struggling down at Florida State. So isn't that ironic? But yeah, if you had to match those two up on each sideline, I'm not surprised. He seems like he's a detail oriented individual. So yeah, hats off to him for being up to date on the rules.
Yeah, in college, you got the emotional head coach, and then you've got the strategic head coach. Usually it's the emotional head coach. And Soupy, now that this has been exposed, now that he's admitted to it, and now that Ohio State only fell a couple of spots, we're starting to see in college football that style points and how you lose is just as important as how you win.
I was a big proponent to this expanded playoffs, but now I am loving it because teams, just because they lose a game, I'm thinking of even, the LSU and Ole Miss game. Ole Miss isn't out of it even with 2 losses. I think this now makes college football more exciting. Teams now are just not going to give up. Like, oh, we may have to play a mid-December bowl. Now, even if you have a loss or 2, you are still in contention for a national championship, and I love it.
Yeah, Marty says if Coach Lanning did this on purpose, why not put 14 or 15 out there? You don't want to make a mockery of it. You don't want to, and plus, he doesn't want it to be obvious that he's doing it. He slid the guy in. It was a safety over the top. So basically, you had double coverage on a guy that could have got far enough to kick the field goal. That was the entire point. We do have some more breaking news on the Davante Adams situation, guys. According to Adam Schefter on X, trade condition update. The conditional 3rd-round pick the Jets are trading to the Raiders for Davante Adams could turn into a 2 if certain parameters are met. Also, Davante Adams on a red-eye last night. So he's flying as the Jets are losing into New Jersey, Newark. They're a hub. Arrived early this AM with the parameters of the deal basically in place. Adams is now getting a physical to finalize the trade per a source. That according to Adam Schefter. Raphael, your thoughts?
I heard he was flying in to go to game to see the Liberty play, but I guess he's going to be traded for the Jets. But the physical, it's going to be very interesting to see if he did have a hamstring injury or he was just faking because he just didn't want to play. But if this had to have been known yesterday, like you said, Coach, so that's why he was on a plane on a red eye. But when have you flown coach or first class?
Let me tell you something. Once you fly first class, you never want to ride back with the coach. I can promise you that. All right, real quick, let's slide straight into the whip around. If you weren't here at the 10 a.m. hour, that's all right. We've got all of the picks for you in 10 seconds or less. Charles, we got 3 as finally later this week the leagues get back to play, but let's still catch some today. You're up.
Until then, we have the Nations League. We have Poland, Croatia. We're going to grab both teams to score. I have 1-1 at worst in this one. Then Scotland and Portugal. Scotland are averaging 2.6 total goals at home, and then Portugal averages 2 team goals on the road. I see a shootout in this one, over 2.7 full-time goals. And lastly, Cristiano Ronaldo, anytime goal scorer. He's scored in 2 straight and has 133 international goals all time.
And he also has a brand new watch line out right now. And my guess is it's probably very, very expensive. Raphael, you're up.
I can guarantee you my wife will be watching that game. She loves Ronaldo. I'm taking Big Chuck's favorite team in Louisiana, La Tech team, total over 31.5, laying the 3 nickels. And the most heated rivalry in all sports. USA versus Mexico in an international friendly soccer. I'm taking a draw plus 230. And then in game 2 tonight in baseball, the Guardians-Yankees run hits and errors under 23.5. Even money with Cole on the mound. I'll grab that even money.
Grab that even money now. Big Soupy, talk to me.
Golden Knights 3-0, scoring 5 goals a game. I'm going to get them against the Capitals on the 60-minute money line. And Juan Soto, he's hit this prop in 3 straight. He's going to hit it in the 4th. And if you believe the Yankees are going to win without a walk-off or extra innings, take them to not bat in the 9th. And Nikki Kucherov, he had a natural hat trick with an assist in his first game of the season. Just get him to get 2 points at minus 145. And a live play, South Alabama minus 13.5 against Troy.
All right, 3 more college games tonight. Now, my 3 are look-aheads because I think these are 3 lines that absolutely could move, even if Raphael says I am wrong. Lions plus 2.5 in Minnesota. I just think they're the best team in the NFC, bar none. I know they lost Hutchinson, but I don't think for them right now that's going to matter physically, maybe emotionally. Falcons, -2.5. I'm shocked at this number. Seattle has to fly from Seattle all the way to Atlanta, and it's a 1 o'clock local start. They won't even have time for their bodies to change. So I think the Falcons, who scored 38 last week, they'll go north of 30 again. And then the Jags, they've already been in London. They've already been sitting there waiting for a horrible Patriots team, laying 5.5. Everything's on the line. I think Trevor Lawrence and the Jags get it done by more than a touchdown. And the choices that you guys voted on for the Howie Schwab Crew Play of the Day, according to Producer Man, is the Yankees on the money line today. The Yankees on the money line. And finally, Raphael, what is our stat of the day?
We talked about the Army-Navy game coming up, or the two teams who are undefeated. Army 6-0, 6-0 against the spread. They've outscored their opponents 238-59. Navy's 5-0, 4-1 against the spread. They've cashed 5 straight over games, and they've outscored opponents 218-101. Bet the Navy game's over all the time. Low total this week.
Yeah, first time since 1960 that Army and Navy are both ranked opponents. And guys, Soupy, when they meet in December, it could be for a chance to go to the playoffs. That's unheard of.
It's exciting. I love the armed services games. It's triple options all day. They could meet that week and then meet the next week in the AAC championship and maybe even meet a third time in the playoffs. It could happen. I would love it.
I think I would love it too. But Army, they've been scoring a lot of points. Guys, way to roll with me today. Way to roll with the breaking news. Great job. Of course, we got the podcast. We'll talk about Devontae Adams and everything else. But remember this, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets on a Breaking News Tuesday straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, Lamar, my man from the Dirty Big Chuck. Best beer in the game, Soupy. My numbers guy, Raphael. Producer man, playing hurt, but still playing. And I'm simply the coach, trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you is what it's all about every single day. DTL live on Stadium. Good luck.